These nerfed bots do hurt him pretty bad.
All right, and then another patch. The notes are.
I'll have to play him to see how he feels, but those are pretty big nerfs.
Last night. We had
these are massive nerfs to Jing Wei. Massive nerfs to Jing Wei. No, these are both huge nerfs.
Yeah, so over the past couple of balance
huge nerfs.
Taking Jing Wei's damage down on precision gust a lot, and
massive
overall,
nerfs.
Like that was helping her lose.
But still, they're giant AOE autos that explode and do damage.
How the ability works a little bit to be more parity with Smite 1.
Yeah, these are the only nerfs she needed. Now they can buff her 1 damage up.
Once you actually fire it, it does that full damage, and then it no longer does it again. That one singular change.
I still love Smite Stallone, so I can still focus on it.
Her clear exponentially because you could drop it.
I just love Smite.
The melees.
So
it would hit the archers as well when they walked through it, and then the archers would sit in it, take that damage,
full damage,
and you could just swing away at the melees. So making that less effective is now going to be a huge change for her laning potential, and it's going to bring it down significantly.
Yeah. Explosive bolts also getting a nerf here, so
it hurts her early game and her late game
on basic attacks.
Yes, it turns out
crit
with bonus scaling is very good.
Yeah,
very good.
For now.
And so we were
a little
bit concerned about fully.
I'll probably tweet out to see what people are interested in it.
So core to her kit, but we wanted to kind of balance that strength between the crit and specifically Jing Wei herself, because we do like the idea of quickly reloading the stim. It's so fun to be able to just pop into basics, and get those explosions in the area.
Yeah, it was so fun getting crit for 1.1k, 1.1k, 1.1k.
The crit chance overall feels good for everybody, and not
also,
just Jing Wei.
The one other thing that they could have nerfed with her too, instead of the bonus damage on basic attacks, they could have also done if you add a little cast time to her too, because currently she actually autos faster off of 2ing if she has no attack speed than she does if she has attack speed, like going 2 2 2 2. If you build full damage, it goes auto 2, which resets your auto. You can auto immediately after, so you can go auto to auto, auto to auto, auto to auto, which was the broken part.
Just go and practice and just
also on top of the basic attacks doing extra damage.
It was very fun to watch streamers as well trying to figure out, what got changed and what was still the same, and they go, did this do this before, or was it always like this?
And while the Easter egg hunt is fun, we definitely want to make sure that we're making an effort to just clearly communicate everything that's happening, so that's what we're going to do. So as you can see here, I've got another doc, not flashbanging you all today.
Yay, dark
but this is kind of similar to the doc that we went over last Friday with Ro, but there are going to be lots of things that are highlighted.
I've already stated a little bit about this item. I think Mantle of Discord is going to be one of the best items in the game, period. I would not be surprised if this is a 4 or 5 item
that we did talk about, but they're no longer going
per game, or sorry, 4 to 5 buys per game.
We showed this off on Monday.
I think it's so broken.
Discord making its way to Smite 2.
So broken.
Yes, I'm so unbelievably excited for this item. As a tank player, I love getting.
It's not even. It's better on squishies than it is on tanks.
Being able to get some of these really powerful effects, and Mantle of Discord is just one of those classic Smite 1 items that I'm so excited to have back, just to get that like survival moment where you go, oh crap, I'm in danger. Mantle of Discord pops.
You can run the esports
I'm
scene.
chilling now.
Cool. All right.
And I think it's also kind of, I believe this is like kind of our first passive active item in Smite 2, right?
Yeah.
Like most items that worked like this in Smite 1, we would have brought over as an active in some way in Smite 2, so this is kind of not like new tech, but it's a little bit different than things that we've been doing in Smite 2.
It's not like static passive or like active.
Right? That's Magi's Macaw
in the middle, but super excited for this one to be making its way to Smite 2. Next up, another couple big changes for Tekko.
Why did they do that to Tekko? Honestly, it's really just Thana. Yamocha's never buying this item.
A rework here, so they're no longer going to require mana, which will allow Thanatos and Yamoja to lose them. Let me talk to us about what's
I'm pretty sure there's a bug with Thana where he gets like a billion movement speed.
I mean, it's unbelievable amounts saying Tekko doesn't work on Thana.
Yep.
And we're like, well,
yeah,
it requires mana, which is true for.
I'll be honest. I actually think Tekko's not going to be that good on Thana, because he already goes over the movement speed cap by so much that he gets so many diminishing returns on the movement speed, it really does not matter. I'm pretty sure the cooldown resets with Jotuns, on top of the 1 reset, on top of it being cheaper, is still going to make it a better item than Tekko. I could be wrong, and maybe movement speed is that broken, but just thinking about how he plays without it versus how he'd play with it, I'm pretty sure it's better scaling into the late game, getting items faster, and then having like Jotun's passive over having Tekko's. Did you see the weekend post? I did.
Cool. All right, let's move right along. We talked about mid lane int items a little bit last week. We had some items getting some buffs here, but we're adding a couple more to the list, and I'm just going to scroll down just a little bit. Let's talk about Divine Ruin.
Oh,
and
Chronos Pendant is broken, man.
Going to be seeing increased intelligence.
Chronos Pendant is actually broken.
We talked a little bit about how your kind of int scalers or true mid laners are kind of like struggling to find that early game presence, and these are probably the 2 core early game items other than like Book of Thoth that you want to be picking up as a mid laner.
Book is terrible.
So making sure that early game spike still.
So to talk about these quick, Book is bad. Book is a bad first item for 2 reasons. 1, it takes forever to stack, so you never get the spike of the flat pen early game. 2, Book really only gets value when you start building other mana items such as Cosmic Horror, Doom Orb, Rhotic Tahuti. That's when you start getting the value from Book of Thoth. The reason Trans is horrible is Trans never gets value. Trans on the curve like always kind of goes like this, but it doesn't peak high at all, and it doesn't get the same value from building other like Hydra's items where you're getting more mana. So Trans is terrible. It's always bad. Book is only good when it's fully stacked and you have at least 2 other mana items. Otherwise, it's just not worth it. That's why I think if you go Book and then you go like Soul Gem, Obshard, Totem, maybe just Rod, and then just another random item, Book of Thoth is not really giving you that much damage because you're not really getting much mana in your kit or in your build.
A little bit, and it only had 1 change in the last show that we did with Ro, but Soul Reaver going to be seeing a big buff / rework.
Soul Reaver's back also.
What's going on with Soul Reaver?
Yes, so
Book is
Book
is back.
I want to say it was like somewhere in like the CA5-ish
Yeah, Reaver should be built a lot of games again.
Yes. It was very, very powerful. You would get it even on strength only gods.
I remember that. Loki's building Soul Reaver, yeah.
It was crazy. It was really, really good. So we had to kind of
it's good.
dampen it quite a bit to get out of the meta. And that was on purpose. We wanted to say, okay, you're done playing with Soul Reaver right now. Put it away for a little bit, just to kind of get people trying other things to see where we could get it back into the meta. And we've slowly been trying to.
I'm trying to think of like the break point when this is worth
actually usable again, right? We've had our.
So there's like a break point in the game and intelligence when Soul Reaver is going to be worth to build it. I'm pretty sure it's like later in the game. Like you're probably not building it till 5th item, because you need intelligence and you also need the enemy to have a lot of health. So first item is bad, second item it's bad, third item you need pen, 4th item you're probably also going pen, which is a book. Which is a rod, and then I think your 5th item is probably Reaver. I think that's probably what the build's gonna look like. It's gonna be damage items, so something like example, I think it's gonna be like Divine Rune, maybe Soul Gem, Obshard, Rod, Reaver, and then another damage item.
We're going to be increasing the cost, but increasing the intelligence and decreasing the health. So a little bit of a shift here.
Yeah, so Jade Scepter is kind of like Gargoyle. It was an item that wasn't seeing a lot of play for a very long time.
Yeah. Int, pen, Reaver, and then Mantle's going to be really good.
We also buffed Jade Scepter.
Right.
Jade Scepter did not see the same success.
Yeah.
The stats are a little bit weird, right? It's kind of interesting to have health and int on the same item, but not the most helpful for your traditional mid-laners.
Right, yeah.
So what we're doing is we're bumping that in.
Oh, yeah.
Bumping it up. But we're also bringing the health down just a little bit to say we are aiming this a little bit more towards those mid lane characters that are scaling.
This could be really good. I think it's dependent. Probably dependent.
Of survivability. Yeah. Just a little bit.
Just a little bit of health. So it might be a little bit appealing for some of those solo laners who scale off int, but maybe wanting to build.
Are we fucked?
Just a little bit, but yeah.
We've been.
More int than
our timeline has been changed.
Really
it's been pushed back.
Those mid lane carries that are going to be wanting to build a whole lot of int. All right, moving right along. Leather Cowl and Hunter's Cowl, talked about those changes. These are the same that we talked about last.
This cowl, base cowl, is nerfed.
And Spear of Destiny.
Base cowl is nerfed for 1. You can't use the passive once your support's rotating out of lane, so you're mostly just getting movement speed. But Hunter's Cowl is a massive buff.
Last Friday, and those are unchanged.
Yep. Buffs. Okay.
Spirit
I've already talked about these.
The tank items that we talked about last week are also going to be getting those buffs. Mystical Mail getting the buff. Shield Splitter getting a couple of additional changes. So we talked about the decrease in cost, but a couple of extra
still
effects
statted well.
What's going on, Lermy?
Yeah, so I wanted to make Shield Splitter feel good to use, right? Because the stats are decent. The price is good.
I think the damage should go up.
Is that activating an effect is really hard for a lot of players to do unless it's kind of that immediate payoff that feels really, really nice to actually use. So that was the goal kind of with these changes of making the actual
I think shield splitter's damage is too low.
The axe that you're throwing come out significantly faster, 50% faster.
I mean, the thing is, the shield splitter is
having tested it out myself, and it now
you get the value of the shield, but it's not a healing thing.
The shield stacks.
Lifebinder's so OP because it's healing and shielding. It's part of what makes Emoja OP.
Or Phantom Shells or things of that nature. Charon, Eset, when they inevitably get added, characters like that that can spread out a lot of shields. That's going to be
maybe
an
tame.
incredibly useful
Maybe
item,
we'll see.
especially if you're kind of goated and
I'm not committing to it.
Stacking up that shield is going to feel really nice too.
Really nice. All right, and I think that is it for items. The Gilded Arrow, Sharpshooter Arrow shifts, unchanged from the last time we talked about them, but those are
more like shit.
OB3. Lifebinder and Hussar's Wings, Lermy.
Okay.
Let's start talking about nerfs here. So it turns out Lifebinder, really good.
It's still too high.
Yeah, Lifebinder is
still
kind of
too high.
a star in a lot of different places. We see it a lot in
the first item Lifebinder is basically unchanged,
Conquest as well
and then late game it's basically the same item.
Sprinkling over in solo and mid, depending on who you are.
I think it's still broken.
But I think overall this item has felt really good to use.
They probably should have buffed the cost, or sorry, nerfed the cost a little bit.
Too effective.
Like something like this, and then making it 2,500 gold would be pretty good.
Base damage at the beginning of the game, so that it still does build up to feeling useful, but you're not getting so much free early game poke.
Yeah,
it was almost like meta defining in duel, right?
Oh,
like
yeah.
It was,
and then we could talk about Hussars quick.
All right, next up, Hussar's
I think
Wings,
Hussars is something
item that's gonna
you're probably not buying unless they are relying on slows to kill.
Effect super strong. We're just bumping up that cost to kind of be in line with that super strong effect, right, Lermy?
Yeah, I mean, this essentially is a true counter to a CC, which is crazy because slows, I'm sure as those know, are
I'm not sure.
Widespread
I'm not sure when it goes live.
Smite and the items and all of that good stuff. So having a complete and utter no conditions counter to one of those widespread CCs is crazy.
Oh yeah,
it's game warping for a lot of characters. I know Nemesis was a really big mention for a lot of people. They would buy Hussars into Nemesis, and she goes, "Well, I can't do much about that."
I think this just makes Stampede better now. Also, when there are games that you'd maybe want Hussars, you're probably only building Stampede, and you're just going a different route. Like if I'm playing solo lane and I feel like I'm getting like the Nems ulting me a lot, Stampede, and then I'll just Stampede away.
To get this power, then cool.
Yeah. Cool. All right, I see some more green here. Oh, let's talk about ward adjustments. So during our testing, Ward, Sentry Ward, Cyclops Ward, and Eye of Providence were found to have inconsistent reveal radii and targeting sizes. So to ensure that these match the intended design from Smite, the following adjustments have been made. So the reveal radius has been reduced from 10.4 meters to 7.2. We've increased the target radius from 5.2 to 7.2, and then all descriptions have been updated to use radius instead of area for accuracy. So.
Yeah. Essentially what we noticed was the first thing we noticed was, hey guys, target size is way too small. And then we noticed, oh wait, the reveal area is way bigger than it is in Smite, Smite 1. So we kind of were like, okay, what makes the most sense here? Well, it's going to feel really good when the targeter actually matches. And I think the reason that a lot of people didn't notice that it was so big was because, again, that targeter feel and what you were actually seeing when you placed down the ward just was way too small. Yeah. So we're hoping that a nice meet in the middle of this parity to Smite 1 is going to just feel right across the board.
Cool. And I see chat memeing that nobody will use wards in the first place, so it doesn't matter. Buy wards. It's like one of the things that
there's so much vision available in Conquest now. It's crazy. Yeah,
or
not wrong.
Kill the Cyclops.
Kill the Cyclops. Pick those up.
Is one of the things that most correlates with winning is like how many wards did your team drop. I did.
Yeah, I'm an instacaster too.
Assault match with Athena who dropped like 30 wards in assault.
Oh wow, nice.
Probably not a good use of her gold, but in Conquest, in Joust, it's a very useful thing.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. I think the last thing for sure for items here, there are a couple things that we talked about Friday that we are walking back. We're not going to be going live with.
War games and not buy a single ward. I actually think it's better for junglers not to build wards.
No longer going live. The buffs to Void Shield and Void Stone that we talked about last week.
Good,
those are
nice.
No longer going live, right, Lermy?
Yep, exactly.
Nice.
So the reaction is very, very clear. We decided
crazy that they thought buffing Void Shield was a good idea.
Move it on to Gods.
I don't think you should. You drop
one red highlight.
Mid laners and junglers don't have to ward because of how many ward possibilities are around mid.
The aspect, Laramie. You were cooking a little bit something,
I still
right?
think it was a good idea.
Damn, they're taking it back.
It's really fun in practice. It just hasn't, you know, passed all of the tests that we needed it to. It was in the idea.
I kind of wish that they went with it
more than anything. So this was never going to be something that was decided on going into the game. This was just a little bit of spitballing to see what sounded fun.
Yeah,
I wish we could see it. Maybe it's because it was just that broken, but I'd love to have just tried it.
Yeah, I know, right? All right, Lermy, that means you just got to get back to the drawing board, talk to the design team.
We have more ideas. Don't worry.
All right, cool. Lermy's still going to cook on that on her aspect for sure. Kabrakan getting a round of buffs as well that we talked about.
Crazy that he's getting buffed. That character's actually going to be broken.
Vulcan,
that character with a bunch of the hybrid items,
and then, of course,
so broken. Jungle, solo, support.
As well.
Yep.
And that should be it for all the OB3 balance is going to be going live in OB3. We did hit the
this thermal mod is also a really big buff.
Aladdin. Talk about Rama. What's going on with Rama, Lermy?
I'm so excited to talk about Ram. He's one of my favorite hunters.
Haven't we already seen him?
I just keep working on hunters.
Right.
No, it was Achilles we saw. It was Achilles.
But overall, Ram is like such a classic character. He is kind of one of the definitions of the archetype, right? He's true basic attack oriented, and they wanted to make sure that he felt as clean as possible.
His autos do feel
really,
they look nice.
That's just basic attack, and you'd be surprised how complicated a character like that can be under the hood. But let's actually talk about what's new with Ram.
Cool.
So,
all right, Lermy, where do you want to start?
His visuals
I
look
guess the first thing
stunning.
let's talk about is the actual new features that you guys should be looking
Let's
for.
do it.
The first new feature is that when you use your 2, as you may have noticed, there's a big circle around you and you go, well, gosh, Lermy, what is that circle? If you drop some astral arrows, so use your 1 and hopefully you get lucky. Okay, we got lucky. All right. And then when you activate your 2, you'll notice that they get picked up right away, put back in your quiver, and now you've got
they
some
got rid
arrows.
of
So
the
anytime
boots.
you activate your 2, when there are arrows in the ground,
Support
they get
Fenrir?
picked up, and you get them right on there.
I think I have one in.
Feels very, very nice.
Yeah,
I have one in there.
Nothing worse when you ran out of
think.
arrows and you like if you run into the fight to get your arrows back, you are just going to die.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, I guess I don't have any more arrows. Now it's like you can choose.
sucks,
It's like, do I
son.
want to start the fight off with my attack speed buff, or do I want to hold it for a little bit and then use it to pick up some arrows later in the fight?
Yeah. I think the other big quality of life change that you guys will notice using this ability is there's a feature on it that a lot of people don't really know from Smite 1, but when you hit 3 basic attacks on an enemy god while the AO2 is active, you actually get an ammo back. Now there's actually a tracker on your
I thought it was
buff bar
random.
that you can see how many basic attacks you've hit until you get that next free arrow.
I
So
swear I
before,
knew that, but I didn't
it
know it
was
was.
completely invisible. Now it's visible, and you can track it.
I thought it
I
was
also
a.
didn't know that, by the way.
Right?
Yeah, I
And
thought it was
now everyone will
RNG.
know.
That's what I thought. I swear it was
I love the
RNG.
fact that we were able to go back and kind of expose some of those. fun
interesting.
things too, right?
Yeah.
We talked about the crowd cheering.
I
for
swear it
Achilles
wasn't
in,
consistent.
In Smite 1.
I don't think it was. I think that's a lie.
That's something
I
had
think
no
Hi-Res
idea.
is lying to
Yeah,
us.
that's awesome.
Yep.
Chat will not be quiet about hearing Rama laugh. Could you just make him laugh for us real quick?
Oh no!
Oh, no.
Okay.
It's over.
He does have his laugh. I am. It might not be working in this.
It's
part.
over.
Okay, we'll follow up. We'll make sure the laugh actually works.
Days ruined.
Sorry.
what a
sorry.
Reddit
We'll
history.
update.
I have
The
called for the
victors
wrong
write
name.
history.
Yes, but we'll make sure that his laugh actually
Yes,
is working.
we will.
Yep, absolutely. Oh, chat says this will work in jungle practice.
That's what it is.
I see, I see.
Rip the dream.
We'll get that one fixed
Okay.
up. Do not worry about it. All right, but next new feature to talk about, and this one's kind of interesting because it was
I'm a support
choice
player. I
that
don't
we
have to hit
wanted
autos.
make to kind of prioritize certain aspects of the AO3, that roll. So when you roll, you'll notice that you have a targeter up. And so one thing that was kind of confusing from Smite 1 is that if you have your
You
3
had two different
and your 1
targeters.
active at the same time. By the way, if you didn't know you could do this before, you have been able to do this the whole time.
Oh, that's
you
interesting.
actually do cripple multiple targets if you've got both of them up. But when you actually go to cancel this ability in Smite 1, it would cancel your 1 and not your 3. So what we wanted to prioritize first is say, okay, you can cancel your 3 now before your 1. So
there we go.
prioritize the multiple targets over the cripple. Cripple will go away first, and then the multiple targets will go away. I also
There
see
we go.
chat
Surely-
mentioning about that it's not centered. That is a new bug for today's build that we're going to be checking out. And then those are really all of the +1.
Surely you'd wanna get rid of the multi-hit first, no?
Classic character that we wanted to focus on making sure those fields
You
were
lied to
good,
me saying
and just
Achilles
giving
was
him
out.
small touches, small little quality of life versus anything big and game changing.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you'd want that the other way
I like those
around.
he didn't have those little arrows above his targeter when he
Yeah.
exited to tell him.
He had little diamonds, but now they're
did
little
he?
arrows. Yeah.
I never noticed them.
Yeah, we gotta
Look
make sure
my
we get all
cooldown
those
here.
little details. Snipes. as cool as always. I just love the effects on that. How the team treated that with the spiraling projectiles alongside the arrow.
Because if I roll and I only have one arrow left, I guess it's 50-50. Because sometimes it could be more valuable to have the cripple. You tripping? Nah, I actually think it is still worth it to have. Go back to clearing with a triple shot instead of a one. You just double cancel both. You're not in a PvP fight. If you're not in a PvP fight, it doesn't matter.
And you go learn me. That's really OP. That's really, really strong. How are we trading off for this? Well, my friends, when you run out of astral arrows, because of course your one still does cost those astral arrows, you have to reload.
Okay, I'm pretty sure attack speed doesn't make you reload faster.
Well,
I'm pretty sure.
Arrows, you'll see here, he does a special little animation. That wasn't in yesterday, folks. If you guys were flash testing him, we've got a brand new animation for that to reload. And once he does that, you get 5 new astral arrows. You can keep sniping again and go forth with your adventures. But that's not the only part of this trade.
He like twiddles his fingers.
Once you lose at least one arrow, you can right-click at any point or do whatever your cancel input is to reload whenever you want.
Dude, that looks so sick.
The basic attack slow applied to you when you're reloading, so gotta be careful about that. But let's also talk about the impact to his AO1 damage, because he has this ability now at rank 0. So you don't even have to level this ability to be able to get those AoE auto attacks, which feels real, real nice. But once you get it at level 1, essentially, without putting a point into it, it's just not slow, and it does not do
beautiful.
It will only do your basic attack damage and the reduced basic attack damage. All that still applies. So
I can't wait to walk back to lane.
80%. Afterward, though,
waste my time by autoing, reloading, autoing, reloading, autoing, reloading.
Bonus does get very, very heavily reduced from the base Rama version. However, you now also get strength scaling on this bonus damage. Base Ram has no strength scaling at all. So it's just base bonus damage on regular Rama. And now it's up to 25% strength scaling.
Wait, that is crazy.
And what you'll also
that means this god is going to be
speed is drastically reduced.
25% strength scaling means his autos are going to be hitting 1.25 as hard for those 5 autos, which stacks with crit, which stacks with Deathbringer. You ever play without the aspect? Well, I thought the downside of the aspect would be you're spending too much time reloading in a fight that it might not be great. But the upside of doing this much damage, your attack speed is like halved? Yeah. I'm pretty sure if you're playing this aspect, you build crit. This aspect is not good without crit. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Pretty sure you build crit with this aspect, and the other aspect you could build either. But building kins and then having such little attack speed, like you're trying to one-shot with this. Yeah, Dagger or Frenzy would be good with this.
It does go down if you do build attack speed. So if you do actually want to
you do
a slightly more modified or more hybrid strength,
you should just play regular Rama at that point.
And there are still benefits to doing that. And also, when you use infinite arrows, your basics no longer cost astral arrows. So you don't have to reload if you have infinite arrows up because you got infinite arrows.
Wait,
so you're chilling.
Double kill.
So yeah, there's a lot of options here with this one. Plays
never mind. This is just always better
to regular Rom because it's really hard to shift Rom to a different role overall. But he will have this kind of brand new way to play him and way to build him, and I'm excited to see what those full strength
maybe you can build kins without it.
Are going to cook up, or what kind of build what people will do with him. Because guys, don't underestimate 25% per basic because that is
we're not
a big number.
We're not. Trust me. If anything, I might be overestimating it.
And Smite 2.
Not IML, your attack speed is halved.
Just the tried and true Stem Hunter, you know, back into Smite 2. I know a lot of people.
I guess it depends on how low you can get your reload. Because if you can go like
asking for
reload,
so, yeah, super excited
reload,
to deliver. And,
reload.
Like I said earlier,
like if you can be that quickly.
Just a little bit later on today, people can try out Rom if they didn't get a chance to.
Your attack speed is halved
yesterday, and
so it is. It's still crit then. It's still crit,
and should be really, really fun.
Yeah, I think you know, the traditional hunter role from Smite has always been.
That's cool though. That's cool. That's almost like Jin.
We'll say it's boring. You know, the things that the gods can do and still work as hunters need to be somewhat restrained, right? But I think that we've managed to find a lot of interesting little twists on the formula with the gods that we brought over to
Smite. It's definitely going to be worse.
Aspects and how
it's definitely going to be worse. And with the current build,
you know, Rama looks really good.
I mean, Rama's always been both good at building crit and pen.
Pretty good.
Or
pretty excited about
Kins.
things she has going on. So
We have to differentiate that because pen build versus crit build makes no sense.
I've got up Ram's
It's crit build versus on hit build.
Let's take a
All
look.
the goodies.
Yeah.
I have to ask what Alana they have.
Dark and brooding.
He's
I
so
think
cool.
because of how strong Kins is,
I just love like how the
Aspect is
contrasting
probably
colors work
worse.
together so nicely. The red is just
but crit is
glowy.
pretty strong right now.
He gets them in the little.
Yeah, there's always pen in the crit build. It made no
Oh,
sense.
Yeah, I love that like updated detail on his model as well. As you guys will notice, there's just a couple little small model updates too.
Wait,
between Smite 1 and
wait,
Smite
this
2,
is
and you can kinda
fire.
See that especially.
This
in the
is
chat, where we
fire.
have A lot more detail.
Wait.
All right, next up, we've got Snipe Kills, the tracker that you get when you buy in.
Of course.
Number of enemy gods killed with Astral Barrage, right?
Got
How
it.
many people?
Dude,
you're
that
hitting with
emote
the
is
ultimate. It's
sick.
a really good tracker.
Oh, it's kills too, so you got to be actually
Oh,
finishing
yeah,
them off
for sure.
to get that tracker.
You've got your mastery emote.
I didn't see it until right now, but that's
Very
cool.
classic.
Another tracker, objectives destroyed, god assists, arrows fletched.
Is it
the number
Jover?
of astral arrows dropped by Rama.
It can't be.
Yeah.
It can't be
So
Jover.
however lucky
can't
you
be.
can get, you know, the more drops that
It's
you
not
get,
Jover.
the more that's going to go up, and it's a 30% chance at base plus 1% per level, so 50%. How lucky are you? Spike
Right,
Game
we'll
Chat.
see.
We'll see.
All right,
Like, imagine you
moving
get
on, we
soloed,
got
the Rama
Global
drops from the
Rewards
sky.
Onyx, classic black and gold.
Oh yeah,
And drops the
It looks so
emote.
clean.
looks so nice. I love the bow too. How there's little.
doesn't
bits of
need
black
special
details in there,
equipment.
Too. I mean, traditionally it's like a very kind of like more orangey golden, but I love just seeing all of those extra little details that we've added highlighted with these
Yeah,
different
it's very
colors.
ornate. Looks really good.
Rama is
Moving right along
ripped.
to Opal.
This
Oh,
one
this
might
one
be
looks
my
so great.
favorite.
it's pretty good.
Did he get
Oh,
beefier?
I
He
just
looks like
love
it. He's
the,
fucking
transition
ripped.
From the purple to the teal.
Wait, Opal is
I love the way the bow
clean.
looks, too. The textures on it
Yeah.
look really,
Wait,
really
Opal
great.
might be his best.
Shiny, shiny.
Opal might be his best.
All right, and then you know we've always got to play around with the global emotes. I think we may have spoiled this one.
It's
but,
so funny.
So cool.
This is one of my favorite emotes in the game.
This is the best.
I love it.
That might be the actual best emote.
Right?
Drop that emote.
No, right?
Got him.
You got your wave.
Not one of my favorite waves in the game,
Yeah.
I'm gonna say. But, it's fine.
He's like, hey. The title is
Seventh Avatar is kind of a cool one.
You've got your
Yeah,
God
that's the
Kill
dude from the
tracker,
Olympics.
your mastery badge. and
Oh,
then we'll look at
Paxi, yeah, it's the dude from the
Radiance.
Olympics.
Yeah.
Looking clean.
I love it.
I love the little like auras that they
Dude,
have.
Rama
I
is
know.
so clean.
Makes the bow like really powerful.
Both
Oh, I
Opal
love
and
the,
Radiant are
textures
sick.
Here on the,
Yeah, the Turkish guy.
as well. Looks really
He
good.
doesn't need equipment.